Welcome to the Horse Talk Show! Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton! Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show this week, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton, here in the studio in downtown Ocala in the horse capital of the world.
Woohoo!
And our new studio, this is only our second week. And I have Dancing Pete from Complimentary Horsemanship.
Woohoo!
Who's been on the road, traveling.
I've been in New Hampshire.
He had some cooler weather.
Yes, ma'am. It was cold. High was 80.
Cold for
low
him,
was
by
50.
the way. Like, he screams at Crystal Cryo when it's the most soothing, relaxing kind of cool that you could possibly ever have. That most of us go to sleep for, he screams. What's cold? 50?
Okay.
60?
60. 70. I had a sweatshirt on most of the... Even when it was at 80.
You had a sweatshirt on in 70?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Well, even when it was 80,
You'd
I
never
had it on.
survive
I
in
took it
England.
off the last day when it got to 80 because it was a little too hot. But it was like walking out in the morning here in Florida with my sweatshirt on at 80 degrees.
I would have loved that. I'm so ready for cooler weather, so that would have been lovely.
It was nice at times, but...
We have a wonderful show lineup for you because we have Dr. Kayot on next from Peterson and Smith. And then we have, you know who. We talked about her quite a bit last week. Betsy Bavacqua from Larson Hay. And
Idaho's finest alfalfa. And Ocala's finest lady.
That's right. She is amazing, amazing woman and amazing horsewoman. And she knows all about hay. So we're going to chat a bit. And then we're going to do a little Mustang madness. We're going to talk about adopting a Mustang from the Bureau of Land Management. There are 53,000 of them in corrals who need homes, who didn't get a chance to get adopted. And we're going to tell you the Flynn story, and we're going to share with you some early videos of Mr. Flynn back in the day when he came from Nevada out of the wild. And we got some cute little videos of him when he was just a year or so old, and that should be fun. And then we have, look, there he is when he was just a youngster. And then we have Dr. Roland from the Equine Performance Center. We'll be talking a little bit about their services. Then we're going to have Pete's Horsemanship Tip of the Week, a little Ocala Dog Ranch
Woohoo!
tip, Uncle Neil, where
Neil.
my four-legged family are going to go tomorrow to spend some time while I'm in the middle of my move, so that they're not stressed out by all the anxiety of...
Of you?
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's about right. Because, you know, moving, they say it's along the same lines as, like, you know, losing somebody, life, you know, passing type thing. They say that's the anxiety level.
I don't think that's the same, but okay.
I don't think it's the same, but I do think there is a certain anxiety level.
Oh, yeah,
that's,
there's definitely
quite
some anxiety.
overwhelming, yes, at times. But some mentions, first of all, the hobby horse equestrian.
Oh, boy.
Do you know that the hobby horse equestrian game started in Finland and has spread all over Europe like a mad, crazy craze that people love? And they actually have legit competitions, and they're highly competitive. And Tryon, where WEG was in 2018 in North Carolina, had a big summertime bash where they did these great fun, make your own stick horse and do all the competitions. And most people focus on dressage and show jumping when they're doing hobby horse or stick horse games, but how much fun it is that we get to do things like roping and
Barrel
barrels.
racing.
Yes.
And for you dressage people, this is really good to practice your patterns.
That's right. Yeah, it is. And we were just talking about it actually yesterday, and about how horse sports can be very intimidating to people. And not understanding horse sports, and perhaps not having the opportunity to take riding lessons or learn a sport, but what a great way to learn all about the sports and the disciplines.
Well, my favorite is David with the polo. The David.
Yeah, David and David.
David and David.
David and David.
But the one that was
Polo Club.
instructing us, David.
Yes.
Not the one that was talking,
he's
David.
Awesome. And he's wonderful with all ages on the stick horses too, because he gets really into it and takes it really seriously.
Oh,
So,
yeah. But no, polo is one of the sports I really don't know a lot about, but I'm learning more about it. And then I first started learning more about it at the Hobby Horse Games.
Yeah.
So, and this is the thing, we're going to have more than just polo.
Yes.
However, these aren't like somebody off the street goes, yeah, I know a little bit about polo. No, these are top equestrians spending their day
Yes.
to come out and promote their sport while you're on a stick horse. This is unheard of in my book. I mean, I've gone to professionals, hey, would you come out and do this little thing? No,
cool.
thanks. Louisa sit here. Will you come out and teach a bunch of kids on a stick how to do your thing? Sure.
And adults.
Adults. Sure, I'll be there.
Absolutely. And I think we had such a good time, and it's equine edutainment at its finest. And we're going to add a parade, an all-breed parade.
Of
to
course,
that
because
early
Luisa's
on.
doing it. We have to have a parade, just
And
letting
we
you
got
know.
demos, and we got a vendor village. And it is 10 to 6 p.m. October 21st at the Florida Horse Park. Hay rides all day by Big Horse Ranch, brought to you by Larson Hay. This event is sponsored by AgPro, and we are pretty excited that this is part of the equine initiative presented by Piranha Animal Health, who we love, and it's free admission for all ages.
Wow.
And speaking of Piranha, we've got some Piranha Life Golf coming up.
Oh, boy.
November 3rd. We so love what they do with their protection for our horses, of course, a no-fly zone. We love that. Their Barnmaster systems are amazing. Their products are fantastic. They have a full range, no matter what your needs might be. But how cool they are to have Piranha Life Golf. You can actually golf with PGA Pro Ted Potter. You can go to the Ocala Country Club, which is beautiful. You can be a sponsor. You can put a team together of 4. You can play. You can just come and enjoy the day.
Come and have fun,
Come
even
and
if
have
you're not a
fun.
golfer.
That's right. Come and
borrow
have
some
fun.
clubs and get out there. And
We're
just-
not golfers, and Betsy and I rode around having a blast last year.
That's
so
right.
It was a good old time. So make sure you get involved. You can sponsor that. There's lots of opportunities available. Or you can, like I said, you can put a foursome team together and play golf and enjoy. But it's all to benefit 3 wonderful charities: Canine for Warriors, Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses, and the Florida Youth Ranch. So all great causes, all 501c3s, and all the money raised goes to them. And I think this year will be even bigger and better than last year.
Yeah,
So
it'll be a blast.
it'll be a good time. Quick mention for Ocala Magazine. I know I forget sometimes to not talk about this, and I should talk about this
Wow,
more.
that's cool. Look at the gold.
I know,
jumping.
isn't it? I know. I didn't actually. That is wild, isn't it? I didn't notice that before.
Wow.
So apparently vinyl's back in. Imagine that. I could probably dig out some vinyl. I hate to say that, but anyway,
That's called records.
records. Do you know that there is an equine section about 2/3 of the way through Ocala Magazine every single month, featuring all sorts of different stories related to the horse capital. And I write this section every month, and I tell a little story about something related to the horse world. I put a little Equine 101 in here, and like any needs in the horse industry are often here, or events. This actually mentions the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games right here in this corner, and there's a little horse talk show ad that goes there. But find this in Ocala Magazine. This is about the Twin Cities that we visited in Ireland, Ocala's Twin City, but great stories in here related to equine. So please pick up your Ocala Magazine and read it. We're going to wrap up, coming back with Dr. Adam Kayot in just a few minutes. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system. Powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
Experience the bluegrass. Step into the Elwood Hotel and Suites, situated in the heart of Lexington. Elwood is a unique yet familiar place, your home base, to explore. Minutes from the University of Kentucky and the best distilleries on the Bourbon Trail. Only a short drive from horse country and from the iconic Keeneland racetrack. Full of warm, natural light, Elwood rooms are inviting, a space to retreat, rewind, and relax. From spacious rooms to extended stay suites. Each room is unique, just like you. Don't miss a beat in your fitness routine either, and your furry friend is welcome too. Elwood has cozy beds, yummy treats, and snuggles too. Elwood is more than a landing place. It's a tribute to a contemporary southern lifestyle, a delicious place to refuel and to launch your Lexington adventure. Book your stay at theelwoodhotel.com and like them on Facebook now. Settle in at Elwood and begin generating memories in the heart of the bluegrass. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Join us for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games presented by Ag Pro Companies of Ocala, October the 21st at the Florida Horse Park. Enjoy the parade of horse breeds, take a free hayride, and learn horse sports by competing from the safety of a stick horse. Win ribbons and prizes in barrel racing, show jumping, calf roping, racing, polo, plus food trucks and a vendor village. Don't forget to horse around with us on October the 21st, 10 to 4 p.m. at the Florida Horse Park. Free admission for all ages. This event is part of the CEP's Equine Initiative presented by Piranha.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and Equus Television. We're at the Florida Horse Park. We just visited with my donkeys and miniature horse here for some treatment and vaccines with Dr. Adam Gayart from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the summer stuff that we don't look forward to, Dr. Chaot. A couple of things I wanted to cover specifically that I've sort of seen people talking about lately is lightning and sunburn. Two things that we are subjected to here in the Sunshine State and also the lightning state at times.
Yeah, right. So we'll delve into lightning first. So lightning is a big deal. Here in Central Florida, we're the lightning capital of the world, they say, as well as the horse capital of the world, but lightning capital of the world. So we have more lightning strikes than anywhere else, I guess, the experts tell us. So lightning obviously can be devastating. Every year I have at least one patient of mine that gets struck by lightning. So in my opinion, now I've actually had this happen. The safest place for their horse is in the barn when lightning's coming. Last year, I had 2 horses struck by lightning that were in the barn. And I had, probably 7 years ago, I had one that was struck by lightning in the barn. So the one that was several years ago that was struck by lightning that was actually in the barn, there was a metal trailer divider, and that was sitting on the edge of the barn, and so the lightning hit the trailer divider and jumped and hit the horse. So it can happen, but and then the other one, there was nobody home, there was nothing standing out. It was a metal pole barn with some stalls and stuff. It was a nice, your typical barn. And 2 horses got struck in that barn. Wow. And so lightning is a serious deal. One of those horses died. The other one has lived, but has some ongoing neurologic issues, but he's making it and he's fine. And so the moral of the story is, horses that are inside, I think, are safer, but it can still happen. It can still happen. Obviously, the ones I've had crazy stories. I've had, the saddest one is I was probably going on 20 years ago or something like that.
You're not old enough.
Yeah, exactly. I had a mare that was struck. The foal was struck, but the foal lived, the mare died.
Oh my gosh, was that Carol Rios?
No.
Oh, that happened to Carol Rio.
No. So that's kind of,
that's sad, yeah.
Yeah,
very.
But then, I mean, the bad part is that was a whole sad story. But the foal then ended up probably was nursing, and when the mare got struck, something happened because in the foal's nose, because over time I think the nares got singed or burnt from the lightning, and then about 2 months later the foal developed a big calcification and scar tissue and basically couldn't breathe.
Oh my
so
goodness.
we ended up having to put him to sleep. So
that's so sad.
It's a bad deal and it's a serious problem. It's because I've seen horses get struck by lightning, and when lightning comes around here, I get in. I don't try to. If I'm doing an exam on a horse or whatever, we get in out of it. So my advice to you is, if you have a place to put your horse in,
during a lightning storm,
put them in. They're the safest.
But do
there.
it before it comes, not during.
Yeah, try to do it before it comes.
We don't recommend running out into the lightning storm.
It's a serious deal. And,
it is scary.
Several years ago there was a farm up north that had a bunch of horses that got under the tree, and the lightning struck the tree and radiated out, and all the horses ended up dying. They just laid dead around the tree because they were getting under the tree.
We're getting under it to get away, which is natural for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it is survivable in some cases.
Yes, it can be. But
there's usually after effects.
Yeah, there's usually some after effects. They're going to have some neurologic problems. Typically, they might be a little wobbly. They might have some facial paralysis, some ear that doesn't work, or something like that. But it's not 100% fatal, but it's probably about 80% fatal.
So not a good chance of survival, and usually not a good prognosis for them.
No.
Let's talk about sunburn while we're on the topic of extreme weather. We're coming into the much warmer time of the year. Horses get sunburn, especially if they're light-coloured horses. So they're really better off inside, and if you don't have an option for inside during the hot part of the day, then you need a lot of sunblock, and that certainly can be a thing to be aware of, especially for newer owners that aren't familiar with this area, or maybe new horse owners.
Right, so it is a deal, especially for your pink-skinned horses. So the paints are notorious for this. So wherever they have pink skin, they will sunburn. The darker skinned horses, they can still sunburn, but they don't have the effects that the paints do, or the pink skinned horses. Typically, what you'll get, or what an owner will call me about, is my horse has this crusty stuff on its nose, and that's typically where you'll see it, is on their muzzle. And basically, it's just like you or I. They get sunburn and it blisters and then it scabs. So then you're seeing this scab. That's what they're calling me about and wondering what that is. So that's very typical. So if you see that on your horse, that's most likely what it is. The danger of that is, just like us, is that obviously too much of that can lead to cancerous lesions. So
they can end up with melanomas, just
melanomas, squamous cell carcinoma most commonly. And they'll get it on those pink areas. They're notorious for getting it around their eyes, like the pink skin around their eyelids or their third eyelid, any of those areas. So certainly, if you're going to be out and you have a light skinned or pink skinned horse, the best thing to do is either put them out at night, or if they're out during the day, put sunblock on their nose and reapply frequently.
Yes, and hopefully have some shade in your pasture. If you don't have trees, some form of shelter they can get under to get away from it.
They won't always do that, but you can try.
I know, right? Well, if you put hay under there, it really helps. A nice big block of Larson hay will really help if you're trying to get them under there.
Right.
Not if you have really green grass, though. You're right, they're going to be out.
Yeah, they're going to be out.
True fact. Dr. Adam Kayott with Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We're talking about some hazards to look out for in the summertime, especially if you're either a new horse owner or you're new to Florida, and we certainly have a lot of those.
Yes, absolutely. More every day.
Great. Dr. Kayott, you gotta love him.
Oh yeah.
But we don't love sunburn, and we don't love lightning.
Lightning and sunburn, not.
No, and actually.
And Ocala is the #1 place in the United States, or maybe the world, for lightning.
Is it?
There's more lightning strikes, I believe.
In Ocala.
Or in Florida.
Oh, I know, in Florida. Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like Ocala.
It feels like Ocala. I know, there was
Florida.
some crashing the other day, like very close. Gets very scary. So nobody wants to have that experience on their farm. But lots of myths dispelled about all sorts of things that people have told me about trees and tall items and things like that not being what we think. But certainly can be very alarming. I have had friends who've had horses, sadly, that have been struck. And it's a horrible thing.
Yes,
so obviously use wisdom. And if you have horses out in the field, don't panic and run out and try to grab them in the middle of a lightning storm, because that's not wise either. I know people who've done that as well. And sunburn, obviously, if you have light-coloured horses, that's a big concern.
And noses.
Yeah, noses, sunblock. Very important, or bring the horses in or get them at least in a shady paddock if you can, because the lighter coloured horses seem to have a problem. My mother had an older Missouri Foxtrotter, and it was grey, and it actually ended up getting melanomas from the sun. That's something Dr. Kayott should talk about.
There you go.
Yeah, so melanomas can be a big concern as well. So just remember, with your lighter coloured horses, greys, and your paints and other horses, lighter coloured horses tend to be much more likely to have problems, just like people, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so definitely something to be aware of and be careful of this time of year, as we are in almost September, hoping for some cooler weather coming soon, because it's been hot. Except for Pete, who was where?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. We got the wrap-up sign. That means we're coming back with Betsy, and we're changing sets, so
woohoo!
Stay with us.
See you in a second.
This portion of the show is presented by Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. At Crystal Cryo, you can relax and enjoy a non-invasive cryo skin facial. Reduce fine lines and wrinkles and tighten the skin. Improve texture and tone. Stimulate collagen production. Reduce inflammation and acne. And increase blood flow to the skin, resulting in a more youthful, radiant appearance. And it all takes only about 30 minutes. Boost your confidence now and set up a consultation. Find Crystal Cryo at crystalcryo.net or on social media. Experience the ultimate in relaxation and rejuvenation. Pamper and revitalize your body, mind, and spirit at Crystal Cryo.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Stephen at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
And speaking of Larson
I was hoping Betsy was going to do that with me.
Guess who's here? Betsy.
Betsy
We
from
talked about
Larson
her a
Hay.
lot last week.
Yeah.
And
so
Dancing Pete Roder from
happy to be
Complimentary.
here.
Yes, we're happy to have you. Nice choice of colours.
Yes.
Well done. It wasn't
planned.
even a plan, was it?
No.
If you're listening on the radio, please find us on Facebook or follow us on Equus Television on all smart TV networks, and you can also download the app on your phone for free.
And we'll try to describe as much fun as we're having on the air, even though you don't get to see it. So,
look.
Oh, there's a horse head that says Larson's Hay. Alfalfa's.
Well done, Isaac.
Idaho's
Thank you,
finest
Isaac.
alfalfa.
I like saying talk derby to me, so I'm just going to say talk hay to me.
Well, Isaac was out there a couple weeks ago in Idaho checking out Larson Hay Farm.
He was, wasn't he?
And he took some great footage while he was out there and got to see a lot of us putting up our second cut hay. They tend to bale hay at night in Idaho because it's such a dry state, very little humidity, and they need a little moisture in that hay.
Ooh, that
And
makes
so
sense.
they will wait till the dew drops and then start baling at night.
So if you're listening on the radio, we're watching these tractors that have lights on at night, and they're baling hay, but I think there's a steamer in front of it.
Sometimes there's a steamer in front of the baler. It just depends on the conditions because it has to have a little bit of moisture. We test the hay continuously up till the time we get ready to bale to make sure the moisture content is correct to help in preserving the hay correctly and stop molding and all that. So there needs to be a certain dryness and a certain moisture content to be able to get that hay put up nicely where it retains the leaf. And
that makes sense.
We want to have that leaf on there. So they'll run those balers all night to get the hay put up. Our hay crew starts at maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. So
that is good footage right there.
Pretty interesting.
I wonder how far up
realize
Isaac is.
Till I went out there and visited in Idaho, so it's an education for me.
It is indeed. That's pretty amazing footage. If you're able to watch this, if you're able to either look on Facebook or on Equus TV, it's pretty amazing. But that makes so much sense to do it at night and have that the damp in the air that you don't have during the day, unless you're in Florida.
And the guys have probes where they put it into the windrows and check that moisture content. They're also baling wheat and barley right now that gets sold to the breweries so they can make beer.
So they can make beer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And most of that will be organic product. So
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So a question a lot of people ask me, and I always answer accurately, is Larson hay is always so very, very beautiful and green, and people always ask, they must dye it.
Well, if
Dye
you
it
look,
or dye it?
Dye it.
Dye
to make it green.
greener.
There you go.
Well, if you can see any of these photos and the drone footage that has been taken out there, it's just
Green.
water, fertilizer, good seed to grow good alfalfa. And no, there are no dyes or preservatives put in our hays
Look how
whatsoever.
green that is. It's so beautiful.
It's so green when you drive out there. It's emerald colored. And,
That's what I was going to say. You've been to
Isaac.
Ireland. Doesn't that look like Ireland?
Isaac can attest to that. That's just like waves of alfalfa growing there.
It's beautiful.
And none of it has preservatives or any sort of artificial coloring added to it. It's not necessary.
What you see is what you get.
And horses, they like the fresh hay. They want fresh hay. They want fresh smell. They can't tell if it's green or brown or whatever. They just know that it's good, tastes good, it has a good smell to it.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I've had horses that'll walk away from a green flake of hay and go to one that looks brown, but it tastes better to them.
It tastes better. And horses are like people. They have a palate. Some horses really don't like Timothy. It becomes an acquired taste for them. And others, of course, like the alfalfa hay or the orchard mixes. What we always think they should have or that they would like, they have their own opinions.
They don't always concur.
Our customers will come in and say, "My horse is so picky. My horse is so picky." And I tell them they're not the only ones. There's lots of picky horses out there.
And interesting fact that a lot of people don't think about, me from having, had quite a lot of geriatric horses in my life. A lot of people don't think about older tummies, older digestive systems, what's easiest for them to digest, what's easiest for them to chew, because quite often if they don't have as many teeth left, or if their teeth are more worn down, that happens naturally with age, sometimes they have more difficulty eating the Timothy because it's a longer stem.
It's a little stemmier.
Yep, it's a stemmier type of hay. Yep, so quite often you find the orchard mixes and alfalfa mixes tend to be easier for them to eat, so that's just a good thought. And then the other day, in planning to pick up my large bale of Timothy that they're now delivering for me from Larson, because that's so much easier, I did get some. Yes, I did get some phenomenal tips from Betsy on delivery and things I hadn't even thought about. So, if you're loading a compressed bale in the back of your truck, having some cardboard down underneath it, such a good tip, that even hangs out a little bit over the gap. Mind the gap, because it likes to get jammed up with hay.
From the bed of the truck to the tailgate.
There's a gap,
so
mind the gap.
if they put some cardboard down there, that it will come off the back of that truck a lot easier.
And then all that hay won't get all jammed down between the door and the...
And also the way the wires run. If you will ask our boys to put the hay in where the wires run the same direction as the tailgate and the sides of the trailer, it's going to come out a lot easier than if it's crossways. It's not going to come out of the bed of the truck as easily.
Yeah, I never thought of these things.
So Betsy, at Larson's they weigh the hay. So there's some hay places that you go and get hay and they don't weigh. Why?
They don't weigh. Yeah.
Why do you weigh and you don't weigh?
Well, for us, when we put our hay up, our loads are weighed when they come into our barns. We have large set of scales like you would see at truck stops at our warehouse in Idaho. And also we have a large scale like that when loads come into our store in Ocala. And the trucks will have to weigh in and they'll have to weigh out empty. So then we get a bale average for the amount of bales on the truck or the trailer, and we can match that up to what it should weigh. And then when we sell the hay, we weigh every bale that goes out. If we sell a truckload, a semi-load of hay, the trailer is weighed emptied and it's weighed full. So you're only going to be paying for what you purchase.
I like that. That's nice.
There's no
value for money.
And that's how they do it out west.
Yeah, and we realize not every store in town
Can
has
do that.
and has that, but it is truly
nice.
the best way to buy.
It's wonderful.
It's like buying our lunch meat or our vegetables.
We
or
love
produce.
us some Larson hay. That means we have to go to break. But the good news is, Betsy is staying with us, so we'll be back on the Horse Talk Show. We're going to Mustang it up here.
All righty.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that could talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton. She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system. Powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com hobbyhorseequestrian.com or find them on social media.
Join us for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games presented by Ag Pro Companies of Ocala, October the 21st at the Florida Horse Park. Enjoy the parade of horse breeds, take a free hay ride, and learn horse sports by competing from the safety of a stick horse. Win ribbons and prizes in barrel racing, show jumping, calf roping, racing, polo, plus food trucks and a vendor village. Don't forget to horse around with us on October the 21st, 10 to 4 p.m. at the Florida Horse Park. Free admission for all ages. This event is part of the CEP's Equine Initiative presented by Piranha.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
You too. Oh, funny.
We need to practice.
Yes, ma'am.
So, we have Betsy here from Larson Hay. We've been chatting a little bit about hay. Dancing Pete here from Complimentary Horsemanship. And now we're going to talk a little Mustang Madness. So, going back, I don't know what year it was. I probably should have looked. But going back to probably a couple of years ago, that's Baby Flynn having his Mustang tag removed.
And I believe he's eating Larson's alfalfa right there.
He is. Definitely eating Larson Hay.
Look
no
at him
doubt about
packing
it.
it away.
Look what a baby he is too. So if you're on the radio and you can switch up to Equus Television or to Facebook and find the Horse Talk Show, you actually get to see Mr. Flynn, who was my accidental adoption. I was actually on my way to Lowe's, and I remembered that the Bureau of Land Management was at the Southeastern Livestock Pavilion because I had interviewed Janet about being here and having, I don't remember how many horses it was, but there were about 9 or 10 left at the Southeastern Livestock Pavilion when I pulled in that day. It was about 20 to 1 and they were packing up at 1 o'clock. That, by the way, was only Flynn's second day out of the wild. In the not that one, the one before I was taking the tag off. This is actually Haley, who does multiple Mustang makeovers.
He was a baby.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe what a baby? So she has
gosh.
done multiple Mustang makeovers and won many of them. And she's been doing for years and years. And I think I probably had him, I don't know, a couple of months here, maybe. Not very long at all. Had he been on the property? The first night that he arrived, he was, chased with flags into the round pen, and he actually colicked within about 2 hours of arrival, which was joy as a completely feral Mustang. And there's me calling the vet, calling my friends who are Mustang makeover people. They're all out of town, of course. And so, anyway, I got some Banamine in Mr. Flynn and spent a cozy night in the round pen. And the next morning we were pretty sound friends, and I was able to handle him and take his tag out of his mane. And Abby came over and we put a halter on him. And before you know it, he was walking around like he'd been around people.
I thought you
all
spent
the
the night with him.
I did, the whole night in the round pen, which was a little bit stupid now I think of it. Do not try this at home. It was a little dumb, especially since I was on my own. But I got in a comfy chair with a pillow and some blankets. It was the coldest night of the year. It was January 20-something, I think. And it was really cold. It was 34 degrees that night. I'm glad it didn't rain. It would have been even worse. But he was completely wild, of course, when I got him. Didn't mean to get him, but he was on his third strike, and he was $25 and was not going to get another opportunity to get adopted. He was going to get sent out
$25.
$25.
You spent your money well, I must say,
I
because
did.
Flynn has spent a little bit of time at my house, and
I've got a great video of you.
Yes. He has such a huge personality.
He really
such
does.
a big personality.
Oh, he's bucking.
Oh, he's just silly.
He got over that. He
loves
got
the
over that
water
really
hose.
fast, yes.
He loves the water hose, to play in the water. He comes when he calls him.
If you run down the fence, he'll run with you down the fence.
He's a big personality now.
So this was around March, middle March, and actually we got him at the end of January. So this was only 5 weeks maybe into him being out of the wild.
That's a lot of
completely
trust.
feral. And we took him down to Beverly Hills, and they have an obstacle course down there. And he hopped in the trailer, and off we went. He's a fan of stock trailers because they move them around in stock trailers when they're feral,
Look
you know.
at
So they're
that
kind of
good
used to that
boy.
open trailer. He jumped
Sure.
straight in. So we took him down there, and Haley took him around the obstacle course first. And as I mentioned, she's done a lot of Mustang makeovers, so she's had a lot of time with these horses when they are totally feral. But this is a horse that's only been out of the wild for about 5 weeks. So that's pretty nice that he, and not, of course, not sedated or given anything.
Oh,
This
no,
is
you
just
can
as
tell
is.
he's not
Yep.
sedated by any means.
And he did.
Look, he's very relaxed
Yep,
and
he did
confident
everything.
in his handler.
He did everything. He did everything he was asked to do, and
They have one of these lovely obstacle courses at Rafter Cross Church in
That's
Williston
right.
also.
Yes, they
and
do.
they have, you can look them up. They have practices where you can go out and spend a day with, whether you do this, you ride them or you lead them through, and
it's nice. I mean,
is
it's
very nice.
Now, this is dicey. If you're watching, this is kind of a dicey thing. This is a moving floor.
Water box.
This floor actually moves underneath the horse, and there's water in it. So it's kind of a double challenge.
It has holes, and when they step on it, the water
Water
goes through the
comes up.
holes,
Yep.
and the board goes down to the ground, so their feet get wet.
And it actually does. It does actually move. I stepped in it, and I was like, "Wow, that's
Well, it's
kind of a
it's
challenge."
floating.
Yes, it's a floating floor, kind of a challenge. And he did actually do it. I don't remember if he did it in this video or later, but he does actually step in it.
he was trying.
Yeah, he was thinking about it, which, you know, he's a good thinker, and he's back legs thinking about it.
Oh,
He's like,
got a flying out of his belly. My
thinking.
goodness.
But when I think about how big he is now,
He's a big sturdy
he's a
fella.
big sturdy, yes.
Yeah.
He's a big sturdy fellow now.
He
He's
is.
got quite a bit of chunk to
He
him.
grew up into his head a wee bit.
He did grow up into his head.
He has a darling head, doesn't
He
he?
has a Roman nose, yeah. But this is all completely new for him, you know, and very young. He's like, I don't know, a year and a half there maybe at most. So he's a baby, and this is things he's never seen before. He has been in the corral pens out west, and he's been wild, and that's it. And he's just been shipped from Nevada to Florida. And just so you folks, everybody knows, and I don't know if this is still going on, I can verify this, but for a very, very long time, and perhaps still now, there is a government reimbursement of $1,000 if you adopt a Bureau of Land Management Mustang and you keep it for 12 months and you do keep up vet records and farrier records, so they know the horses. They actually do FaceTime you at the end of at 6 months and at the end of the year, because they actually want to see the horse and know he's well. They ask you to send the records. And as long as you verify everything and you've taken care of the horse and kept it for 12 months, you get $1,000 from the federal government. They sent it to me, $500 and $500, which is very encouraging. I'm not telling everybody in the world to run out and adopt a Mustang. If you don't
Please,
have the
no.
right facilities and the right training and the right background, it would not be wise. So that's not what we're recommending. But if in fact you are interested and you are a trainer or you do have some experience with horses and you do have a good 6 foot tall pen to keep the horse in for the first month or so, because they can jump out. So if you have all the right tools, equipment, and abilities, this is a wonderful horse. I mean, it's not for everybody, because a wild horse isn't for everybody.
No.
But this is a fantastic horse to have, and he is as Betsy said, he stayed at her house, and he's a wonderful horse.
And from the training aspect, if you get a Mustang, get a trainer. Don't try to do it by yourself if you don't have
We
that
only got a
experience.
minute left to show him in the ocean. I think we should, because we have a minute. If Isaac can get it that fast. Look at that. So this is a few months later. taking him to St. Augustine Beach, and this is him having never seen sea and water before, and actually at one point Haley has him up to his withers in it, which is great fun. So what a good boy he is, and that was a couple of years ago, so super proud of him. And we've got to go to break, and coming back we have Dr. Rulan. Look at that. Flynn on the beach.
He's a good boy.
I know.
He is a good
I wanted
boy.
to tell my Mustang tale. Stay with us. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. Having an air conditioner that works well in Florida is a must. Experience peace of mind by working with Florida HVAC Services, a family-owned and operated company taking pride in always putting their customers first, providing air conditioner repair, installation, and maintenance services on all makes and models. For those suffering from allergies or asthma, air quality testing is recommended and hospital-grade air filters are available. Ask about a pure air filtration system today. Check them out at flhvacservices.com or like them on Facebook. Florida HVAC Services, serving all of North Central Florida with honesty, integrity, and the highest value of workmanship. And that's 100% guaranteed.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Steven at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton here at the Equine Performance and Innovative Center for Equus Television, the Horse Talk Show, and the CEP's Equine Initiative. I have the pleasure of having one of our very expert veterinarians here in the Ocala-Marion County area, Dr. Alberto Rulan. Dr. Rulan, lovely to be with you again.
It's a pleasure being
It's been too long. You're too busy.
I know. It's been way too long.
So this is hard when you have as much information and knowledge as you have to share. But in less than 10 minutes, I want to run through all the services here. Our equine initiative is a very important part of Marion County and very educational. And we like to share what is available here in the Ocala area. So if you can kind of start at the top and briefly give us a little summary of each service that's available? I know there's a lot, so.
Oh, no, absolutely. And thank you so much for giving me at least 0.2 seconds to get prepared for this.
I know, right?
I was pretty good. Plenty of time. So, services that we offer here. First and foremost, what we try to do is minimize the amount of drugs, increase the amount of natural rehabilitation. And that every service that we do is with that purpose. Minimize the amount of drugs, increase the amount of natural rehabilitation to bring their horses back to peak performance abilities as quick as possible with less drugs. So everything that I'm going to talk about, that's going to be our main course, right? Regenerative therapy, we do them all, from stem cells, PRP, ozone, oxygen are some of my favorites for sure. What does this do? Let's talk about the ozone and let's talk about the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. The first thing that does is increases your oxygen level in the blood 600%. In this modality, the blood does not need or depend on the red blood cells to bring oxygen to the wound or to the area that is damaged, because it travels in plasma. Very nice little thing. And it actually does zero harm. It's oxygen, right? So it increases the healing capacity of the animal. Great for wounds, non-healing wounds, fresh wounds, burns, lung issues, bleeders, patient with hoof problems, hoof infections, anything that has to do with inflammation or infection.
Gorillas.
Gorilla. Exactly.
You have had a gorilla.
Exactly. We had a gorilla from Animal Kingdom that came and had a great time with us over here. Did fantastic. Discovery Channel had a blast with us over here. So definitely my favorite. Second, we have modalities such as the cold saltwater spa. This is like going to the beach on a cold day and putting your hurting foot in the sand and let the water just bathe your feet. This
Sounds
is
good to me.
It is just an amazing.
I'm there.
It's just an amazing technology to take infection away, inflammation away, to clean up any kind of cellulitis, any kind of bacteria debris, and a well-being of it all for the tissues that it touches. The saltwater spa could go all the way up to above the knee, comfortably. Yeah, temperature between 44 and 36 degrees Fahrenheit, and we leave them there for about 30 minutes or so. Some horses, even some horses with hyperthermia, we have put there to cool them down quickly. Because you know, if the temperature goes really high in a horse, 107 or so, that could actually kill them.
Right.
So we put those horses in there. Horses that are at high risk of laminitis, we put them there. Horses that have abscesses in multiple legs, we put them in there. Horses that have infections that are difficult to clear up from the outside because there's a lot of bacteria, we put them in there, and it helps a lot. So moving on, we have for muscle, we like to use Magna Wave, which is a PEMF, right?
Yes.
And we
love PMF. It's fantastic.
I've used it myself.
Yes.
I'm sure
me
you've
too.
used it.
Big fan.
Excellent. And we do a lot of that combined with vibration plate. There's some research out there on vibration plate and how it can help some muscle, and how it also can help prevent bone loss after a horse is being on rest for a long period of time. So let's say we have a horse that is resting from a fracture or from any other disease, cannot move, is in a stall. The vibration plate has proven to decrease that bone loss. And combined with Magna Wave, very good.
Very good.
And we can
Very
get
effective.
into big science about it, whether it's increases blood flow, how increases other healing capacities, etc. There is a lot of research coming up on those modalities. Good?
Yes.
Swimming pool.
Yes.
Swimming pool is fantastic exercise to increase cardiopulmonary resistance.
And the good news on that is we're going to have a whole segment on the pool party, so you'll definitely get a lot more details on that.
Not on the rain weather, right?
No.
Not today. Okay, good. So now we're doing a real cool study on the swimming pool, some very innovative stuff, because what we're doing is we're monitoring the blood levels of it's called lactate, we monitor blood levels of lactate to tell us if that horse is actually training hard enough in the pool. And guess what? We have found out that most of the time we stop too soon. So we're actually helping a lot of our clients give that extra edge of exercise to the horses, with backed up by science.
Amazing.
So swimming pool is a fantastic exercise. We try not to put horses with back pain or stifle issues in the swimming pool. So mostly we use it for conditioning, rehabilitation of tendons, some joints, and overall increased cardiopulmonary resistance. Yes?
Amazing.
We have laser. Laser. I think laser by now is pretty well known. Most people are very familiar with the laser. And trivia, laser is an acronym and it stands for something.
I know.
So
you told me that last time I was here.
I will let the audience research what does laser stand for, because I think it's a very interesting thing. We all thought it was just a word, right, to describe a modality. Increases blood flow, increases healing power, has some sort of a pain modulation, and great tool that we use for wounds in combination with the other modalities such as hyperbaric chamber and Magna Wave, etc. So we use it in combination. We use it for muscle pain, muscle inflammation, swellings, cellulitis. There's some new research coming up on laser that we're very happy and excited about. It's for using the eyes, which is very strange because you're not supposed to put laser in the eyes, but there's some new lasers that come with certain different lights, etc., that we're starting to see a use on it. So super interesting.
Yes.
Extremely good to use after PRP or after stem cells to make the tissue heal even better. So a lot of good things happening with the laser. Then we have a shock wave, which is sound wave, right? It's literally that's what it is. It's a sound wave that penetrates in the tissue, increase circulation, increase growth factors, and helps with pain, absolutely, and with healing in general.
Wow.
So that was a big rundown.
That was a big rundown. That is overall wellness for your horse, rehab and conditioning with Dr. Rouland here at the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. What a lot of information. What an amazing service they have right here in the horse capital. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. Dr. Rouland's looking at me like I'm crazy. Did you see that?
I saw it.
I think that's what we all. I was going to say we all look at you like that.
Listen, he's probably looking at me crazy because back a couple of years ago, and actually we should do this again, the three of us should do it. I was a horse for a day. Do you remember?
Jump in the pools.
Yes, I went in the pool, I went on the circulation plate, I went in the ice, cold.
You won't see me getting in the ice unless make sure you have the sound really low, because I'm going to scream like a little girl.
I know it. He will scream like a little girl. And then the treadmill. And actually, I had the microphone in the treadmill with me, and I was out of breath. You could actually hear me out of breath.
They'd have to be treating me for heaves.
It was fun, though. We should do it.
Oh, okay.
Let's go and do an epic visit.
I'll video. I'll hold your hair.
I'll hold the mic for you from a distance.
That was the Winnie.
And we'll raise money. I think we should raise money to do that.
Absolutely. We'll be back after this.
Oh, we're leaving.
Stay with us.
Oh, okay.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Centre, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centres for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specialising in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com. or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Reboot Self-Care Center in Ocala is the future of integrative healthcare, utilizing natural self-care protocols and the finest in modern technology. Instead of treating you, we are teaching you. Learn how to combat threats to your own health and protect your family. For weight control, performance enhancement, anti-aging, self-detoxing, or preparing for pregnancy, Reboot Self-Care will teach you how to improve your own health. Like us on Facebook now and find us on the web at rebootselfcare.com.
Join us for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games presented by Ag Pro Companies of Ocala, October the 21st at the Florida Horse Park. Enjoy the parade of horse breeds, take a free hay ride, and learn horse sports by competing from the safety of a stick horse. Win ribbons and prizes in barrel racing, show jumping, calf roping, racing, polo, plus food trucks and a vendor village. Don't forget to horse around with us on October the 21st, 10 to 4 p.m. at the Florida Horse Park. Free admission for all ages. This event is part of the CEP's Equine Initiative presented by Piranha.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, brought to you by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
That's the chorus. I love them. It's lovely to have you here with us this week. Thank you for coming.
It's been fun. I love to come.
Ocala's finest lady.
That's right.
Betsy.
She is.
It's
getting finer by the year, by the way,
That's
or
an
week,
opinion.
or maybe the day.
Well, my mentor here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, right. She's amazing. I love her to bits. We are going to jump
What's behind
right
you?
in.
Did you see that? What's behind you?
Is
What?
That's-
Is that Pete Rhoda's logo?
That's complimentary horsemanship logo.
Doesn't mean it's free, though, by the way.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's free.
We're going to start with Pete's horsemanship tip of the week.
Dancing Pete's tip of the week, brought to you by Complimentary Horsemanship. All right, today's tip of the week is always have a knife on you.
In case
Rope.
you need it.
Cut it loose. Get your horse cut because it's in danger.
In case you tie your horse to a corral panel
Yes,
with a
ma'am.
nylon rope.
Right, that's not going to break.
No, it freaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have used this, probably has saved buddies of mine, saved horses. It's just so handy to have at all times because you never know. I've had a saddle go under a horse. I was just there to watch. Saddle went under the horse and I had to catch the horse and I had to cut the cinch off the horse so that the saddle could get off of it because it was going nuts.
And don't think of it only when you're preparing to ride or groom. When you're transporting in a trailer, it's an absolute must-have because if you get into a situation where a horse does panic in the trailer or, God forbid, there is an accident in the trailer and horses need to be cut loose for some reason, if they're still tied, then that, even a flat tire, something happens on the side of the road, you have to pull over, horse gets spooked by vehicles going by, and I wouldn't want to have to take my horse out on the side of the highway, but sometimes it may be the only option, and you might have to cut a rope. So just make sure, even when you're transporting horses, to have one on you, not buried in the tack box in the horse trailer somewhere, but actually physically on you. Hang it on your belt, put it in your pocket.
And Betsy knows this from rodeoing.
Yeah.
Everybody has a knife on them, because I've
all
actually
the cowboys, all the ropers.
Yep.
Because I used to work the steers for the team roping, and I have cut ropes from horses' legs that are about to get them broken by a steer.
And to be honest with you, you know, in Western competition and English competition, the reins are not split reins. It's either a buckled rein or what we call in the Western world a rope rein, where it's just one continuous from bit to bit.
Yes, ma'am.
With no break in it. And should that go over your horse's head and a horse step through that, unfortunately, many years ago in Missouri, somebody took the rein over their horse's head. The horse put its head down, stepped through the rein, picked its head up, flipped over backwards, and it did kill itself, because they hit that resistance and they react terribly.
That's true.
If you get in a jam like that, somebody with a knife, with that tension that's created, can cut that rein and
Sharp
save,
knife, sharp.
Yes,
save
not just a knife, but a
save
sharp.
your horse's life, save people from getting hurt, injured badly.
Yes, ma'am. Even the
It's better
dressage
to have
lady,
it.
the dressage people that I've taught, they started carrying a knife because they saw me cut a horse loose, and they were like, "Wow, I need to have that in case that happened." You never know; it could be a rein, it could be a piece
Better
of
to
tack.
have it than not.
Yes,
ma'am.
and know where it is. Very important.
For sure.
Now we're going to go to the dogs.
Uncle Neil.
The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Hi, Neil Hennessy, the Ocala Dog Ranch. Tip for this week is grooming. Long hair, short hair, all dogs need to be groomed. Start when they're young, that way that they're not scared to have their nails done, a regular bath, a grooming with a groomer, cut the hair. All these things should be done with your dog, and the dog should feel comfortable with it. So start a relationship with a groomer and get your dog groomed. Neil Hennessy, Ocala Dog Ranch.
Don't just groom your horse, groom your dog.
Groom your dog. I was like, where are you going with this? This is dog stuff.
No, good. And Neil's wonderful, and my dogs will be there over the weekend, this weekend at Ocala Dog Ranch, having a lovely time, and Dr. Esther Brummond will be visiting Aslan and adjusting him as he's in his healing process from a torn cruciate. So very grateful
Very
to
good.
both of them, knowing that they're both in a very, very safe place, a wonderful environment.
Your
and
dogs are so happy.
I
when they
know.
come here.
They love Uncle Neil and his team. They have such a blast.
But that tells you with your horses and your dogs, boundaries create bonding.
That's right.
And they like it. They want to be told.
That's Pete's second tip of the week.
There you go.
Let me say, along with children.
Yes, ma'am.
Boundaries are important.
Wow,
Listen,
what a
boundaries.
concept.
Listen, boundaries are important in everything,
Yes.
folks. And when people
It's
step
called
over your boundaries,
balance.
boot
Watch
them
out.
out.
She's going to TikTok them out.
I go TikTok. Yes, that's right. I'm good at that now.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you very much, Pete.
You're welcome.
I want to mention the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games one more time, and I want to show you some little video clips if you're watching. October 21st from 10 to 6 p.m. at the Florida Horse Park, brought to you by AgPro. This is part of the Equine Initiative presented by Piranha, and you too can create a stick horse, and you can go riding on it. And if you want to be a
Tricks.
Pasofino,
Oh my gosh, Frenchie.
she is
Sounding board.
Sounding board, yeah.
Oh
Look
my
at this.
God,
This
that
is an
was
addition for
awesome.
future years. We must have a sounding board, mustn't we? And have Pasofino
Oh my
judges.
You need to get Georgia.
We need to get Georgia and do this
Yeah.
and do this Pasofino
Oh
thing.
my gosh, she looks amazing. Oh,
She does
Frenchie.
indeed, and she is a star. Look at her. So yeah, you got to just watch that clip. But really, it doesn't matter. You don't actually have to be a kid to enjoy the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games and
Oh,
Parade.
she's on her left lead
you,
there.
Yeah, you can come out and have fun doing dressage, show jumping, barrels, roping, raining, polo.
Raining.
Yep, polo. The polo
So
match
much.
at the end of the day is so fun. And, you
all
know,
the different breeds
I
that
know.
you're going to have.
I know, it's phenomenal.
On a parade.
And we're having a little bit of fun with the schools because the Marion County Public Schools are all going to decorate a stick horse in their school colors.
Wow.
We're going to have a little lineup of that. They actually had a meeting on the 14th of August to plan so the principals can get everybody involved. And we're going to ask our sponsoring businesses to also create stick horses that go along with what they do, their theme. So like your horse needs to have hay for hair. You know?
I would say so.
Yes, and we're just excited that the Florida Horse Park gets involved, the Ocala Polo gets involved. We have great sponsors. We have free hay rides all day with Big Horse Ranch.
Yeah, they're great.
And professionals teaching you the sport,
That's
not
right.
just somebody off the street that goes, yeah, I kind of know that.
Yeah.
And it's free.
That's right.
Free.
Thank you to our
Free,
sponsors.
free.
Admission for all ages.
Yeah.
A wonderful vendor village, food trucks. Fun. There's going to be lots of opportunities to make your own stick horse there on
And
site.
some education.
Yes, equine edutainment is what we call it because it's a combination of entertainment and education in the horse world, so you can learn all the rules. Next time you go to a horse show at WEC or the Florida Horse Park or HITS, you will actually understand what's going on.
Yep.
Well, that
You
sound
don't
means
have to be horse people.
That's
that
right,
sound means
exactly.
that we have come to the end once again.
For this week. So we'll be back next week. Don't forget, we need your questions for your horse. What would you like to know your horse is thinking? We'll have the horse Bubbles with us next week.
Wow.
Got to wrap up.
Bubbles will be back.
Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not, happy horsing around. Till the same time next week.